Evening all, Remarks here, back again with another video, back again with another Oculus Go video. And is the Oculus Go still worth it in 2019? Should you wait? Should you put it off? Should you save your money for something else? Let's answer that question. The Oculus Go came out in May 2018, so it's been out for about 10 months now. Over Christmas it sold over 500,000 units during the festive period. So that means there's a lot of headsets out there at the moment, a massive user base. So what is the Oculus Go? Maybe you've kind of heard about it, you're kind of considering getting it. Obviously it's quite a low price point at $200, so is it worth it in 2019, especially as there are other headsets due out this year? So let's have a little look. So the Oculus Go is what they call a 3 degrees of freedom headset. So rather than moving around and sort of pushing yourself around in different positions and looking around and ducking stuff and reaching out with the controller and grabbing things, you're more kind of stuck in place. And what that essentially means is, for example, if you're watching a film, imagine that you just kind of sat down in a seat and you're looking around. You can fully look around 360 degrees, but what you can't do, say if there was something in front of you there, you can't lean forward to look at it, which is fine for 99% of the experience that you get in the Oculus Go. The same goes for the controller. If there's something that's kind of in front of you, you can't reach out and grab it, but you, for example, would click a button and it'll pull it to you. So the controller kind of sits and becomes more of a pointer, and the headset is kind of the same. So you're looking around rather than moving. Now that is perfect for anybody who wants to just consume media, and that's kind of the main aim and functionality of the Oculus Go. It's meant to be 80% media consumption and 20% sort of other apps and experiences and sort of things like games. The Oculus Go doesn't need a phone or a PC to work. It needs a phone just to kind of get it started, log into your Oculus Go or your Facebook account, and then once you've done it you can technically discard that and use the headset solely on its own. It's got its own app store built in, it's got its own web browsers, you can do lots of things just inside the headset. Now it is useful to keep hold of that phone and the app, there is some added functionality there. We won't go to that in this video, but check out some other videos on that. But essentially, you then don't need a PC, you don't need a phone, it is all contained. One of the other major benefits as well, compared to some of those 6 degrees of freedom headsets, is they have to have a wire coming out and they go off to a PC. There are no wires on this headset. It is completely wire free. It has a battery contained, it has its own screens, its own lenses, its own speakers that come down sort of the head straps. It's all built in, you don't need anything extra. It's got USB port on the side for charging, and it's got a headphone jack as well, so you can sort of put your own headphones in and listen to them if you kind of prefer it. But the audio that comes from the Oculus Go is really good. It comes down these kind of little slots on the side. Can I get a picture in there? There we go, that's kind of the slot there, if you can see it, that come down and literally just sort of channel the audio straight to your ears. So it is really immersive audio, and a lot of apps and experiences do take advantage of that and give that kind of spatial audio, so things sound like they're coming from those different directions. And one other benefit of the Oculus Go is it's pretty cheap. $200 for the base model, $250 if you want sort of double the storage. It has 32 gigs as the base model, and then 64 if you want to kind of upgrade, and that is more than enough for most apps and games. If you can afford the slightly bigger one, I would go for it, just because it'll just save you kind of faffing around with storage. For the most part, the 32 gig will be fine for most people, especially if you're kind of using it mainly in your home and you're not traveling with it. Then you don't need to maybe store as much stuff on it. You can kind of just download stuff and Wi-Fi it, you know, as much as you want, sort of thing, so it's not so much of an issue. But if maybe you're traveling, it's probably wise to pick up the 64 gig version, because it's wireless and quite compact. If you kind of squash this down, look how small that is, that you can, with the controller, which is tiny as well, you can just stick that in a bag super easy. You can get cases and all sorts for it and take that around with you anywhere. It's one of those kind of, probably the best selling feature of this thing is you can literally just take it anywhere. People use it all over the place. You get people taking them to schools and helping to teach kids. They take them to sort of care homes and show elderly people sort of places all over the world, which leads me on to the kind of experiences that you get in the Oculus Go. So as I said, it's mainly kind of media based, so sort of videos and that sort of content is what it's really mainly aimed at. So the apps and experiences on there are vast. You've got Netflix, Hulu, Fox, you've got YouTube, Twitch, you've got all sorts of manners of sort of video experiences. You've got apps that allow you to go off to far off places, that allow you to wander the world in 360 degrees, some of them in 3D as well. So that's one of the things you've got to remember, that because it's got the two lenses, it's got the two screens inside, it actually gives you that stereoscopic view. So 99% of the stuff that you get in here is in 3D as well. Now, obviously not all the TV programs are produced in 3D, but the environments that you sit in, that you inhabit, are 3D. 3D movies themselves are amazing on this headset. It really brings them to life. They really do feel like they're coming out on you. And you can get 360 degree videos which are truly immersive. So if you have never seen a 360 degree video before, that literally means you can look a full 360 degrees around you and see things. For example, I film weddings in 360 degrees 3D. So when you put this headset on and watch one of those weddings, it genuinely feels like you're there, that you're at the wedding as a guest, and it's in 3D, people are there, you can almost feel like you can touch them. And it's that kind of immersive experience with video content that really is the strength of the Oculus Go headset. Being able to sit down in a virtual reality living room and watch some Netflix, being able to join a party, chat with your friends that you make on here, that you've made on Facebook, and join them as you kind of play different games and experiences, watch content together, and just have that kind of social experience. There are things on here like chat rooms, like sort of virtual reality experiences, a bit like VR chat. One of them is called V-Time, which is kind of like 4 people sat down just having a conversation in various different environments. There's another one called Alt Space VR, which is much bigger, much more expansive, and you have up to 30 people per room just chilling out, relaxing. You can go to events almost like TED Talks, and kind of people present things and do shows and stand up and comedy and all sorts of those sort of things. There's even apps like Oculus Venues. That's a great one, where you can go to sort of live events and watch them with other people. So you actually have like a stadium where you can sit down and watch programs or sporting events and films and all sorts with those people. They're kind of like on a schedule. You sign up for them and you join them, and it is truly immersive and such a great experience that I think most people, or if anybody, should give it a go. And a bit like I touched on with the weddings, if you create 360 degree or any VR content, the Oculus Go is the perfect match to be able to enjoy that content. So you can upload these 360 degree photos that you take with your Insta360 One X camera and upload them to Facebook, and you can spin them round, but you put them in your headset and you can just actually be there. So wherever that camera is, your head becomes that camera, and you can look around full 360 degrees and really check out that photo or that video that you've taken. It is truly amazing. And it's even better if you've got a 360 3D camera like I do, because as I say, it makes you then feel like you're actually genuinely reliving that moment. And the Oculus Go has some of the best lenses and screens that are currently available on any VR headset. The resolution is nice, the screens and the sort of lenses combined produce a really nice picture. It's really hard to kind of see the sort of screen door effect, which is kind of like a crisscross sort of seeing the pixels. It does kind of depend on what you're watching, but when you're kind of in there enjoying it, you just forget about it. And as I say, it's some of the best screens and lenses out there anyway, so you know, if you're not going to get a good picture in this thing, you're not going to get it on any other headset. One thing I do feel I need to say is, as I said before, the Oculus Go is mainly aimed at media, so 80% media, 20% games and apps. Now the Oculus Go has a steady stream of games and experiences being released every single week from independent developers, from sort of big companies, from Oculus themselves are releasing content. So we're probably getting between 5 to 10 to maybe 15 different things hitting the Oculus Go store, which you can access inside the headset or on your phone or on the website. The quality of them does vary, but they vary from free to $9.99, so $9.99. So the prices aren't crazy expensive. If you pay more, you do get more, you get better experiences. I do on this channel review all those new releases, so make sure you sort of check my other videos for those sort of things. But they kind of vary in quality. So from sort of video applications, which give you sort of relaxing, calming sort of videos that you can watch in 360 degrees, potentially in 3D as well. to sort of more interactive things like little mini games or little shooters or rhythm games or you know, pretty much anything you can imagine you can get on the Oculus Go. And the great thing I found with the Oculus Go is the development community for it is really good, really open to feedback. So if you get an Oculus Go, you download an app or an experience that you can buy or download for free from within your headset or pay. You can, you know, if you don't like something, make sure you leave a review. Make sure you drop the developer a message, because they're super open to feedback. They may not know that you're having a trouble with a certain thing. Drop them a message. I find 9 times out of 10 that developer will come back and say thank you for that bit of feedback. They are super open to feedback, and it's something that's been quite refreshing that I've found going doing this channel, speaking to developers, that they're super open to sort of conversations with their customers, and they really do want to sort of do the best job, put out the best experiences and apps. So as I said, the great things about the Oculus Go are its price. It is dirt cheap. It's wireless. There are no wires, there are no PCs or phones that you need to connect. You don't need to be draining your phone battery when you put it inside the headset. It's that kind of really good quality kind of VR experience without wires. 3 degrees of freedom with your controller on your headset is a bonus. If you're not, as I say, if you're not one of those ones that wants to move around or do a lot of gaming, I know a lot of people of lots of different ages, that's what they want. They don't want sort of that big gaming experience. They want to kind of just enjoy the VR experience, the social experiences with other people, and sort of video content, media content, that sort of thing. And the Oculus Go is perfect. And there's a big user base of people that have got the headset. So if you head onto Facebook, you tap in Oculus Go, you'll find user groups with thousands of people in them that are just chatting and sort of interacting and sharing ideas and thoughts about the Oculus Go. The same goes for Discord, the same goes for pretty much any sort of places like Reddit and the official forums. There is a big community of people who want to help each other out with the headset, and it's great to kind of see how people are using these headsets, because of the nature of it being sort of so wireless and relatively simple to use. They're able to take it to schools and sort of care homes and all that sort of stuff and share it with people who maybe can't get out as much, can't sort of, you know, they don't have the mobility to kind of go out and enjoy the top of Everest, for example. They can stick a headset on and look around as if they're absolutely there, and it is perfect. So are any of these things a negative? Well, you could say so. So 3 degrees of freedom, for example, a lot of people would probably prefer 6 degrees of freedom. So if you watch YouTube videos of people playing on the Oculus Rift or the HTC Vive, you've probably seen them jumping around, ducking, moving around things, running around their room, doing all sorts of things. That's not what the Oculus Go offers. It doesn't offer those kind of really sort of complex gaming experiences. For one, it only comes with a single controller, and two, it's only got 3 degrees of freedom, so you're kind of more of a kind of CCTV camera, I guess, looking around and moving rather than sort of moving around. Now, obviously, depending on what you want, that's a negative or a positive. For the price, it's $200. So, can you be realistic with, if, for example, if you wanted a Rift, which is $350, you're probably going to need a PC that's about $600 or more to get a decent gaming experience with that. And with that extra money that you spend on an Oculus Rift, for example, you get to move around, you get to duck, jump, move around your entire room, have 2 controllers that you can reach out and grab things. You can move your head up and down. You're not sort of a stationary sort of view. And one thing you got to remember with the Oculus Rift and the HTC Vive is you need to set up sensors around your room to be able to track the headset, to be able to track the controllers. So you need a decent amount of space. With the Oculus Go, you only need sitting space. Pretty much, you might need a swivel chair maybe for a few sort of games or apps, but for the most part you can sit down on your bum and that's the entire space that you need. But with the Oculus Rift and the HTC Vive, you're going to need a decent, at least 6x6, if not more, space to be able to move around in and get that kind of full experience. And room as well for those sensors to be able to view you and track your headset and controller. And I do find the only people who don't like the Oculus Go are those people who expect to get the full VR experience for $200. So as long as you're realistic about what $200 will get you, you'll have a great time with the Oculus Go. So let's look forward sort of a few months, 6 months to a year. What does the Oculus Go future look like? Now, in a few months time, we're going to get a headset called the Oculus Quest. The Oculus Quest is similar to the Oculus Go, as in it's wireless, it doesn't need a PC or anything to run, but it has 6 degrees of freedom. So you can move around, duck, jump. It comes with 2 controllers that are tracked, so you can kind of lean forward and grab things. which is great. And unlike the Oculus Go, where that's 80% media, 20% games, the Oculus Quest is going to be the other way around. So focused 80% on games, 20% on media. What that does mean is the headset is double the price at least, so it's going to be $400 for the base model. We don't know about sort of any other models that will be coming out. It'll be slightly less portable because the head strap's meant to be a little bit more stiff, so sort of bear that in mind. And it does come with 2 controllers, so you're going to have to kind of look after those controllers. But what that does give you is that sort of full VR experience, because the headset itself doesn't need external sensors or trackers like the PC VR does, like the Rift or the Vive. You don't need them sort of tracking the headset. The headset itself has cameras on it, and it tracks the headset and it tracks the controllers itself. So that gives you that kind of truly portable full VR experience, which is great. If you want to play things like Superhot, The Climb, Robo Recall and that sort of thing, then the Oculus Quest is going to be for you. You pay twice as much money for the privilege, but you get that bigger, bolder experience. You will need some more room in your house, so it's less of a sit down experience, more of a stand up and move around. But that's not to say there aren't apps and experiences that allow you to do that as well. But the Oculus Quest is an exciting experience, and Oculus have confirmed that the Go, the Quest and the Rift will all exist together. They will be their own platforms, and they will get their own upgrades and sort of, better headsets as the years go on, because there is a market for each of them. So the Oculus Go is kind of your beginner headset, your introduction to VR. Those that don't want that gaming experience, just want to kind of relax and chill out and socialize with people, the Oculus Go is perfect. The Oculus Quest is your sort of free roaming VR experience, where you can kind of play more games and be a bit more active with it. And your Oculus Rift is a kind of high-end VR. Whether any future versions of the Rift might become wireless themselves, but they'll always be connected to a PC to give you that extra grunt and extra power to get better games and experiences. Because although the Oculus Quest will have more games on it, it's still running on internal sort of specs and processors similar to the Oculus Go. So mobile chips, so things you get in high-end mobile phones these days will be in the Oculus Quest. The Oculus Go uses slightly old ones, so it's not as powerful and it's not as expensive. But so the games and experiences on the Oculus Quest won't look and play as good as they do on Rift, but you'll be wireless. They'll play probably very, very similar, to be honest, given that you have the full 6 degrees of freedom with the controller and the headset. But the graphics and kind of overall fidelity of the games themselves will sort of suffer a little bit. But I think developers will be quite smart with it, and we should get some pretty good games and experiences out of the Oculus Quest, and I'm excited for it. And just quickly to touch on Windows mixed reality platforms. So if you've got a decent PC at the moment, you don't want a Rift or you don't have space for sensors, for about $200 you can pick up a Windows mixed reality headset, which is pretty much like a Rift, but you don't need the sensors set up, and it tracks the controllers. It has 2 controllers itself, and you get that 6 degrees of freedom, so you need slightly less space. Similar price for the headset as the Oculus Go, but you do need a PC. So it's something to look into if you're kind of interested in sort of some big VR, some big boy VR, without maybe forking out for the full Rift, or you don't have the space for all the sensors to be set up. And I think that sort of headset is a little bit different to the Oculus Go. I don't think they're kind of competing in the same sort of markets, but it's kind of another option out there. One of the things people always ask me as well is, will there be an Oculus Go 2? Well, yes. Oculus have pretty much said that the platforms will kind of evolve, they'll get new versions, and the Oculus Go will be no different. So maybe next year, maybe the year after, we will get an Oculus Go 2. But you're waiting at least a year. They're going to give Oculus Quest a full year on the market before they bring out an Oculus Go 2. So I wouldn't worry at all about that. And how much difference will there be? I mean, who knows? I mean, Oculus are all about innovation and seeing what they can get out of the headset. So it isn't something worth worrying about. If you want an Oculus Go, you're tempted by it, you've seen my videos and all the content that you can get on the Oculus Go. I think there's no reason to kind of worry about the Oculus Go 2 coming out. Will it be the same sort of price? I imagine so, but it's not been announced. It's at least a year away. And even then there's going to be like a Rift 2 or Rift S or something like that, which is going to come out as well. So maybe it might even be 2 years before we get another Oculus Go. I mean, the Oculus Go at the moment is really popular. There is a great community out there, and there's no reason to kind of upgrade it. It does what it does very well. There are a few things it could probably do better, but then it would encroach into the other 2 platforms, the Quest and the Rift. So, they're going to keep it pretty much as it is, I imagine. So to answer the question at the very start of this video, is this headset worth it in 2019? It's an absolute yes. Now, I am a little bit biased because my YouTube channel is pretty much based solely on the headset, so you can take this with a pinch of salt, but I don't see there's no reason why the Oculus Go isn't a perfect buy. It's perfect for those who don't sort of rely on games and those kind of experiences. It does have them, it does have some great games and experiences, and the development community around it is brilliant. They're always working on new stuff. But for media, for sitting down on your butt and just enjoying some kind of atmospheric sort of experiences, it's absolutely perfect and brilliant. And the games and everything are just the icing on the cake with the Oculus Go. First and foremost, it's a media device, and for the price, it's a bargain. For being able to view your own VR content that you create with your 360-degree cameras, your VR 180 cameras, it is perfect, and there's probably not a better option out there. So the Oculus Go gets a massive thumbs up for me. It's still a must-have device. It's something I use every single day. The community is behind it, people love it. As I say, the only people who don't like it is people who expect to get more from the headset than you can realistically expect for $200. At the end of the day, this is a bargain. They probably could have asked double this, at least another $100, and probably people would have paid it. But at this price point, it's a bargain. You'll only maybe want to hold out for the Oculus Quest if you want to sort of focus more on games. But if you're kind of more into media, then the Oculus Go, save yourself half the money and get this one. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about the Oculus Go, or even the Oculus Quest, or anything else we've talked about in this video. If you've got one, what do you do with it? Do you enjoy it? Do you recommend it? If not, let me know as well. But as I say, I recommend it wholeheartedly. If you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. That's fine. I'm big enough and ugly enough to take it. But do let me know down below why you didn't like it. I'll try and do better for next time. Become one of the Remarkables. Hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to be notified when I next upload a video. And that's me done. I'm out. Have a virtual high five.